Hey you guys, so for today's video, I thought we could shop my stash. I just wanted to pick out some things that I'm planning on kind of using for fall, so I have a little color palette going in my mind as to what I want to emulate for the entire autumnal season. And that's how I selected all these products. And then I just have a couple other little favorites that I thought I would toss in here. So let's get through those first. So we're just like on our way and then we can segue gently into the makeup. It'll be seamless, don't worry. Okay, so I wanted to really quickly mention this. I get questions about this all the time. More than 3 times it's happened. So many people have asked me whether or not I've tried anything from The Ordinary. So I hadn't ever. To be completely honest, The Ordinary was a brand that was like really just so, I don't know, I was like scared of it basically. I found it really intimidating because I just feel like there's no branding at all, and that is the branding, but like I need some direction. I've been watching a lot of Caroline Hirons here on YouTube and just trying to get a feel for some skincare knowledge from her, and she talked about this hyaluronic acid. So I ended up picking up the 2% plus B5 hyaluronic acid from The Ordinary, and I really, really love it a lot. This is like, what a game changer, truly. I love it since we're like going into a little bit of a drier season here in Canada. I know those of you in LA are just having a grand old time. Arizona, Texas probably, just all soaking up the sunshine. You can go fuck yourself, okay? It's freezing here. My skin is getting dry. This has really been a lifesaver. A little bit of this goes a really long way. Not that it matters because it's only $6. First chef kiss of the video. Next, I need to tell you about this perfume, okay? I know that we're all wearing Vanille Encensé together. It's time to change it up, baby. Replica by the Fireplace. This perfume, what a woman you become, truly. It is so beautiful. It's really quite, I don't want to say strong in the way that like, it's overpowering, but you need so little of it and it just like lasts a really, really, really long time. It's stunning. It's really nice and smoky. It's a little bit sweeter than I would normally go for, but it's definitely not overpowering because it does kind of balance out with that kind of like woodsy, smoky smell. It's just stunning. It's like a grown-up marshmallows roasting on an open fire kind of scent. Just sexy, you know? That's what I smell like. Sexy marshmallows. Okay. Ooh, I can't stop loving Aesop. Don't talk to me, okay? The Redemption Body Scrub. The pairing of these two, just simply divine. I love this body scrub in the shower. It's so nice when you use this before you go to like put moisturizer on after the shower. It smells like pine needle heaven. Walking in a winter wonderland. I don't know, man. It's so nice. I would call it like a unisex scent because it's definitely not super like floral and like girly smelling, so to speak, but it's beautiful. It smells really smoky as well. It has that nice kind of like pine needle scent. It's so nice. It just reminds you of like a nice like walk in a fall forest. I really enjoy it. I sometimes mix it a little bit with a body gel if I just want it to be a little bit less abrasive, like if my skin's like particularly dry or like really sensitive or something like that, I'll sometimes like cut it with a different body gel just to make it, you know, less intense. I just think that's such a beautiful product. I love their packaging too, man. I'm such a sucker, I don't know what to say. Let's get into makeup. I feel stressed. I feel like I'm trying to like fly through this. Okay, so I have a vision for my life this fall. And I picture just like a lot of like really nice kind of like brick and like terracotta tones. So that's what I kind of tried to pull from my collection, and that's what I'm going to be sort of centering my looks around and trying to get use out of, is those kind of shades. I picked 3 eyeshadow palettes that I really want to focus on over these coming months. First of which is the Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions palette. So this, I really loved this whole collection of these tiny little palettes that she came out with, just because I feel like It's a small palette that's really easy to use on its own or with another palette, but I like that there's a mix of like the kind of pearls and then the really intense like glitters and then the mattes as well. Like I just think it's nice to have all of that in one, and that it's this nice curated palette that you don't really have to think much about. It's not like, you know, this other palette that I'm gonna get to in a second where it's like you might look at that and be a little bit more intimidated and be like, how am I gonna pair these things? I feel like that's never the case with these little Obsessions palettes. It's just so quick and easy. I really like the idea of kind of doing these plum red eyes and mixing that with that shimmer. I like the intensity of those mattes from the plums and the reds and stuff like that mixed with those kind of bright shimmers. So these were all kind of colors that I really liked the look of when I was pulling out of my collection and feeling like just trying to find something that sparked my creativity, basically. These are some of the shimmer shades from that palette. This one up here is more of like a kind of like shade shifting color. It's got like this bright sort of like fuchsia pink shift, but then it has a really beautiful like super golden peachy kind of color to it as well, and it sort of looks different depending on what angle you're looking at it from, which I think is really, really neat, and you could sort of pair it in a few different directions because of that. Then they have this really nice kind of like true pinky peach color, and then down here more of like a blue based kind of like purpley red, which I think is so beautiful, and then obviously these nice little mattes that go with it. So that's one of the palettes I really want to focus on. Let me get something to clean my hands. Then the next palette that I pulled was the I Love Sarai in ColourPop Through My Eyes palette. That's what I'm wearing on my eyes today. The color that appealed to me most from this palette is this shade right here. So it's just a super intense, dark kind of plum shade, and it's just, honestly, like it's just stunning. It's so nice and like red toned. I just love it, man. It's so, so beautiful. So I really like that. I like these kind of pop of like those emerald green colors, and I think that that could be really pretty paired with some of these other shades. So that was the color that appealed to me the most, kind of thing. But I also like the idea that this palette feels a little bit more versatile because these top two rows are a little bit lighter. It feels like that's more of like a daytime kind of like fun, like sparky kind of look, and then down here we have a lot of drama going on. So I think this will be a good pick. Then I'm gonna do it, you guys. I'm gonna use Pat McGrath consistently, and I will prove it. This is the Mothership V. Listen, how many times have I held this up for you? Kill me. This palette is so pleasing to me in so many ways. The colors that stand out to me the most are this one right here and this one, actually, which, I don't know, might be the most boring colors to you, but let me show you what I have to show you. Oh my God. So those are those two shades there. This rose gold color is so stunning and intense. It has this really, really beautiful reflective kind of glitter to it, and is just so kind of like dimensional, and it's just beautiful. And then over here we have this shade that is so like thin, and it's basically like a translucent base, but then it has this really intense kind of reflective gold that has a little bit of a green shift to it, and it's just so pretty, kind of popped over top of other shadows, put on the inner corner, whatever. Those are the two colors that really appeal to me the most out of this palette, and I like that those shades are very different from what we have going on in the other two palettes. Everything in this palette is beautiful. I think that I'll be able to create some cool looks out of all of these shades. I don't feel like particularly intimidated by any of them. The only thing that I don't love about this palette is like I wish they had a slightly lighter transition shade than this one. Maybe even something that had a little bit more, well, no, I feel like that's pretty rosy actually. I think it'll be fine. But I do wish they had a slightly lighter shade as a transition, but I think I'll be able to do some really fun, cool looks with this guy. So those are my three palettes that I wanna spend some time loving on. Then I'm getting back into blush, man. I really have been liking the looks of it lately. I fell off the blush bandwagon a little bit. Gonna be honest with you. I don't know why. I just did, so I'm not ready to answer to you anymore. The two shades that I pulled for blushes for fall is, first of all, this blush balm from Flower Beauty in the shade Cinnamon. I really like that this was like a really beautiful kind of like terracotta color. I think it's gonna be really, really nice for fall. This is quite a bit of that product. You can sheer it out so beautifully. So even if you have really, really fair skin, like I think this color will go well on, you know, like my skin tone, medium, tan kind of situation. Probably not the best for deeper skin tones, but even if you're really, really fair, you can definitely sheer that right out to be a really nice kind of even wash of that terracotta color. And I like that this has a little bit more of a dewy kind of finish to it. I think that's nice, especially when, well, I like dewy all season round, all year round, but I think that that's nice, especially if your skin's feeling a little bit dry or dehydrated. It's nice to have that kind of shine to it. And then I also picked out Sunset Strip from, wait, this isn't the one I wanted. Hold on, everything's fine. Sunkissed is the one that I wanted. I like that this is a really beautiful kind of brick shade. I'll put that blush balm back beside this one. This is the Flower Beauty one, a little bit more sheer and a little bit more of a kind of like warm brown kind of color, and then we have more of a true brick shade there. And this one's a lot more, not even matte, but it is less glossy and dewy than this one. This one has more of like a satin finish when it's actually blended out, but I love that shade. I love that it is not overly red or intense or anything like that. It still has kind of like that nice neutral pull to it to soften it a little bit, but it's just such a stunning color. I think it's so beautiful on the cheeks, but I think that'll also make a really nice lip color. So those are my two blushes that I'm trying to really focus on this fall. And Sunset Strip was not meant to have a cameo. And you can go sit over there. Well, I kind of jumped around back and forth. Now I'm not even on eyes anymore. I'll finish up eyes. This shade, so stunning. So this is the Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow in Bronzed Belle. So this one has kind of like a sort of like bronzy brick undertone to it, but it has a really beautiful champagne glitter on top. These are so intense. They're gorgeous paired with like an otherwise matte eye. I love it. I love this formula, and the appearance of them are so, so beautiful. So that was one that I thought would be nice to kind of like add on to any of those palettes really. And I think it will work well with the different tones we have going on there. So that was a little liquid shadow I wanted to try and get some use out of. Ooh. All right, 2 Hourglass Scattered Lights that I pulled. I love this formula. I've been talking about it since they came out. I think that these are such stunning, beautiful shadows. Magnifique. I would chef's kiss if I could, but I can't because I have one in each hand. The two colors that I chose are Rapture and Ray. So here we have Rapture, that center shade right there. And then this is Ray over here. So Rapture I think is really beautiful. And the reason I like it is because it's a red tone and it has kind of like a gold fleck throughout it, but the red is not a super intense, like these kind of tones that are really, really dramatic and a little bit, I don't want to say harder to wear, but they're just, it's a different look, you know what I mean? And so I like that that is a more kind of subdued, not even dusty, it's literally just, it's just a nice light red, and it doesn't turn pink or anything like that. It's just a really beautiful tone. It's fairly unique in my opinion. I think this guy will be nice if I want to add a little bit of shine to kind of like a lighter, softer kind of look. So that's why I pulled that guy. And then Ray is just all around like such a gorgeous shadow. That's what I have down the center of my lids. This one is more of a bronze undertone, but it has a really intense champagne shimmer, which kind of pulls as the more dominant shade for that guy. So those are my two. I think they'll be beautiful. Last, but certainly not least, I just had a couple lip colors that I had pulled. So I wanted to try and get more use out of my Bite Coffee one, what's they call it? French press lip gloss in Dirty Chai. So this is one of my favorite shades from this collection. You guys know I love these glosses. They are so beautiful. They have a nice kind of translucency to them, and they just are so plush and like soft on the lips. I love them. It's one of my favorite formulas ever. So that is the shade Dirty Chai. It's just a really nice kind of like warm, again, like terracotta brick sort of shade. So I think that's really beautiful. And I like that this isn't really, really intense like a liquid matte lipstick or anything like that. So I think that'll be a little bit more wearable for me, because you know that I like my nudes, but I'm trying to branch out. And I think that this guy's nice because it's not super, super dark, but it has some nice kind of pigment to it, and it has that sheerness that makes it a lot more wearable. Then for matte, I grabbed the Nudestix pencil in the color Purity. So this is more of a true kind of like nudie pink. It does have a little bit of a deeper tone to it than I would normally go for, but it's a really beautiful kind of like rosy, It's just so nice. So those are two lip colors that I pulled that I think will be lovely. Let's see how they look together actually while we're here. Oh yeah, oh my God. It doesn't look that different, but it looks just beautiful to me, okay? That's my fall collection. I think that all of these colors will work really well together. I think that these products will work really seamlessly, and it's not gonna be something where the blush is gonna look off or a lip is gonna look off. It's all kind of in that realm of that warm toned, leading towards kind of like bricks and reds and those kinds of colors. So I think it'll be really beautiful. I think all those shades will work really well, and I'm going to try and get as much use out of these products as I can. So that's my little fall collection for you. And then my other little favorites that I had at the beginning. That's it. This video was probably not that interesting, but I think it's interesting. That's probably a stretch. I don't know that I think it's interesting either, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, anyways, let me know what products you guys are digging out of your collection for fall, because that's what we're doing now, instead of purchasing all new things, because we are going to utilize the things we already purchased. It's a great idea. We're loving the snow buy. Kill me. All right, guys, I will see you next time. Peace out.